Yes guys, it's Dave from Talking Wolves and welcome back to another match preview. Tomorrow Wolves are going to be hosting West Ham United in the Premier League, hoping to get another win after in the last league game, of course, was the thriller, the 4-3 thriller against Leicester City. Unfortunately today I am on my own, but hopefully I'm still going to give you all the match facts and my opinion on the upcoming game. We've also got thoughts of a West Ham fan channel as well, but let's get right into it. So, of course, the last league game was against Leicester, and then the last game overall was against Shrewsbury. Now, the game against Shrewsbury, of course, it was a rotated team, but it still starred some, first-team players. Wolves will really be hungry to bounce back after that. We showed some great desire to come from 2 goals down to get 2 more goals to stay in the FA Cup, and now with 4 favourites with most bookies to lift the cup. And what an amazing, amazing achievement that would be. Of course, the draw is going to be tonight, which is Monday the 28th. And of course, we still need to beat Shrewsbury in the replay because they gave us a good game on Saturday. We can't take anything for granted. But if we do come out on top of that replay, only 2 more wins and we see ourselves in an FA Cup semi-final. But of course, we're going to be playing up against West Ham United. Let's start with some match facts as we normally do. And Wolves are going to be looking to do the league double over West Ham for the very first time in their history. It's a 30 different campaign that we've played them in, and of course we beat them earlier on in the season, a very late Adama Traore goal. I believe that's his only league goal as well, and of course not the best of performances from him at Shrewsbury when he played up top, but when he was shoved out to the wing he had a much better performance, and a lot of people saying he turned out to be one of the better players on the pitch once he went out onto the wing. West Ham are unbeaten in their last 3 top flight away games against Wolves, though, winning 2 and drawing 1. Since a 2-1 defeat back in May 1982. West Ham are also unbeaten in their last 8 Premier League games played on a Tuesday. They've won 6 and drawn 2. Last time they lost was a 3-1 defeat to Arsenal in April 2014. After drawing their first 2 home league games this season, none of the Wolves' last 10 games at Molineux have ended level. There have been 5 wins for Wolves and 5 defeats. So, plenty to play for in tomorrow's game. Of course, West Ham lost out. They were poor at the weekend. They lost out to Wimbledon, who really gave them a bit of a fright. And again, it was a rotated West Ham team. They played some big players, but they rotated the side a little bit. Adrian in goal, gave chances to Ogbonna and so on at the back. Were forced to bring on some big guns, and it looked at one point like they may have got something back in the game, but in the end they conceded another goal, and I believe the final score was it 4-2. So a big win that for Wimbledon, who are rock bottom of their league at the moment, and a bit of a shock for West Ham. So I believe tomorrow's game may go one of 2 ways. It may show West Ham still very fragile after that defeat, or a West Ham United that are really hungry to bounce back. So for Wolves, it's a difficult game. However, you could see Wolves go into the game in the same sort of light. Are we going to be fragile after, scraping that 2-2 draw against Shrewsbury? Are we going to come back fighting to prove that we're still this big Premier League, the best promoted team, as some pundits are labelling us? It's going to be a big game. Us and West Ham United now are in that sort of middle pack, the top end of that middle pack, and we're almost rivals with each other. That's how Pellegrini labelled Wolves, as one of their rivals now. I believe Watford are sat in 7th and we're in 8th at the moment. There's only a couple of points between 7th place and 10th or 11th, so it's really all to play for at the moment. And of course, with us and Watford still in the FA Cup, 7th place could actually become a Europa League place as well. So there's still plenty to play for. Watford have had a fantastic season under Gracia. We've had a great season under Nuno. West Ham had a really slow start under Pellegrini, but they're slowly but surely getting back into it. Of course, a big talking point for West Ham United and their fans over the last couple of weeks has been the situation surrounding Marco Arnautovic. The Austrian striker was rumoured to be leaving the club and maybe going to China, and then it was said last week that the club were free to let him go, although a couple of weeks previous they said they didn't want to let him go. And then, strangely, after their defeat against Wimbledon, the striker signed a new contract. Now, every fan of Premier League football knows how good Arnautovic can be, of course. Came into Stoke City, had a good spell there, moved on to West Ham, has been fantastic for them as well. He was one of the players that really stood out at the London Stadium when we played up against them earlier in the season, and we know that he's a player full of talents. There's a big chance that he's going to be involved tomorrow with their squad. Whether he'll start or we're going to be starting on the bench, I don't know. But he's going to be hungry to prove something. He's going to want to apologise to these West Ham fans. So it's going to be key for us to keep an eye out for him. Whilst on the topic of West Ham though, of course the subscribers that have been here since towards the start of the season will remember that I did an opposition preview with the guys over at Irons United. I spoke to South African West Ham fan Rich, and I've actually asked him a couple of questions today, and here are his thoughts.
What's up guys, it's Rich from Irons United. Dave from Talking Wolves has just asked me to answer a couple of questions in preview for tomorrow's game, Wolves-West Ham at Molineux. First question being rating West Ham's season so far. We're in 10th, it's not bad. I guess I'm just a little bit frustrated because we've had some really good results against the likes of Arsenal and Man United, Chelsea picking up good points and then dropping points against teams like Brighton and Bournemouth in times when they've really been struggling. We've seemed to be that side that keeps on giving teams points when we shouldn't be. So that's been frustrating. Obviously, we started off really poorly with Pellegrini, lost our first 4, but he told the fans to be patient. And the results started to show. We went on a great run where we got 4 wins in a row in December, climbed up the table, and we're only 2 points off 7th. So I think we're in a healthy position and in a good position to kick on for the rest of the season. In terms of Wolves, I think they've been fantastic. A real joy to watch. I love Nuno. I think he's a fantastic manager. And what he's doing with that Wolves side at the moment is a sight to see, really. The creativity running through their side. I guess Wolves fans share similar sentiment to me in that you guys have also dropped points against the smaller sides, to put it lightly. The likes of Cardiff, losing there. I think that could have been very disappointing for you guys. And perhaps you guys could have been even higher in the league if you got better results against those type of teams. But also, I think you've been similar to West Ham. Similar position, similar type of football. So I'm expecting a very open game on Tuesday night and hopefully a good game of football. In terms of players that Wolves need to watch out for, one would definitely be Felipe Anderson. He came to West Ham, massive price tag, but he's hit the ground running really well. 8 goals, blisteringly quick, tricky player, scores goals, gets assists, so he's someone to look out for. And if Marko Arnautovic starts, definitely him as well. Going forward, he's an absolute menace. We know what's happened with the whole contract saga. He hasn't got his move, but of late he has said that he's committed to the club. He wants to stay. He signed a contract extension. So utterly bonkers news for West Ham fans. We're pretty flabbergasted by it. But yeah, Arnautovic, Anderson, maybe Antonio as well going forward. And finally, a score prediction. I'd take a point personally. I really would. I think there's going to be goals. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. But I do worry about Wolves. That midfield, Moutinho, Neves, going forward. Jota's been playing well. So hopefully just it's going to be a great game of football all around. And yeah, may the best team win. Cheers, guys.
So yeah, again, big thanks to Rich and the guys at Irons United. I'll leave a link to those guys down in the description if you are a West Ham fan. Now, for me, talking about the Wolves team, I do believe Nuno is going to start up the same team. I was going to say the same team as Leicester, but I think he'll start Johnny over Vinagre and bring Doherty back in at right wing back. Doherty had a great game in the FA Cup game against Shrewsbury. I believe he'll start the front two of Diogo Jota and Raul Jimenez again. Those two were very, very good against Leicester. And then the middle three, Dendoncker, Moutinho and Neves. It's great to see Leander Dendoncker finally break into the team and finally look comfortable. There were so many rumours towards the start of January that he was going to be moving on. Rumours that a couple of teams in Italy wanted him. I wasn't too sure how it was going to work with Wolves' obligation to buy Dendoncker, but I think we could have cancelled it or they could have bought us out of it or something. But I'm really glad he's staying because he was a player with a lot of talent when he joined Wolves or big potential. So I'm glad that we're managing to keep hold of him. Neves as well had a great game against Leicester. I'm sure he'll be keeping an eye on that West Ham line if they're going to be sitting a little bit further forward. I'm sure Jota is going to be standing on that last man again and we're going to see those over-the-top balls. The only issue for me at the moment is the back three because Willy Bolly's suspension has left us in the lurch a little bit. And Romain Saiss, as good of a player he is, I'm more comfortable with him sat in midfield rather than at the back. Of course, he plays at the back for Morocco, but with Saiss, Cody and Bennett, I'm not 100% comfortable with it. We let Leicester, score their first 2 goals too easily, to be honest. And of course, this is the last game of Willy Bolly's suspension, so he'll be back for Everton this weekend, I believe. But with not long with the transfer window left as well, there's a couple of days left. Does that mean Wolves need to bring in a centre-back as a backup option? Because if this happens again, we've still got a big chunk of games. If one of our centre-backs has a red card, of course we've got Say, so we've got Dendoncker that can fill in, but is that enough quality for potentially 3 games for us to miss out on? Other rumours in the transfer window, it looks like Johnny may be joining us on a permanent deal, which is going to be very welcoming to all Wolves fans. I think we'll all be very, very happy with that. But I think Wolves as a whole, the quiet transfer window for me is a good thing. It shows that we're not panicking this January. No doubt we may bring one lone player in. I don't know. Nothing has been rumoured much. But it shows that the club are very, very comfortable with what's going on at the moment. They're very happy with what's going on at the moment. And if we can build on this start and finish in the top 8 or 9 this season, I think it'll be a very, very successful season for Wolves. But moving on to my score prediction overall, I think West Ham are a very good team on their day, and they're going to make it very, very difficult for Wolves tomorrow. Our home form has been all over the place, so anything could happen tomorrow. I have predicted previously a 1-0 win, Diogo Jota scoring the goal, but I think I'd take a 1-1. I think it's going to be very, very difficult. West Ham are going to be in one of 2 ways. They're going to be very, very good tomorrow, or I think they're going to be very, very poor. As I say, with that Wimbledon effect, is it going to knock them, or is it going to, give them a kick up the backside? We'll have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts anyway, guys, in the comment section down below. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. You can check us out on the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, everything in the description. But hopefully Wolves get the 3 points. Until then, though, enjoy the game if you go in. Stay safe, and we'll see you all very, very soon.